Good morning. Yes, sir. Surya sir, shall we start?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Welcome to the one-day webinar on experience Ministry of Home Affairs in connection with Institute of Land and Management, Government of Kerala. As we all know that the number and severity of natural disaster is rising as the climate undergoes changes and as the world population continue to increase. So India's geoclimatic condition as well as its high degree of socio-economic vulnerability make it one of the most disaster-prone country in the world. A disaster is an extreme disruption of the functioning of society that cause widespread human, material, or environmental losses that exceed the ability of the affected society to cope with its own resource. UNDRR 2019 Global Assessment Report for the Disaster Risk Reduction highlighted that the failure to understand and manage systematic risk is a challenge for the process as set out in the global blueprint, the Sendai Framework for Disaster Risk Reduction 1530, adopted by the UN member states. And recently, like nothing has revealed more clearly the need for an all of the society focus on disaster risk reduction that the current COVID-19 pandemic, which has led barely many shortcomings in disaster risk management, not least in government's failures in response to the repeating warnings also. So in today's session, we will be joined by distinguished speakers, namely Sri V.S. Prakash, member, Karnataka Tank Conservation and Development Authority, Professor Surya Prakash, head, GMR Division, NIDM, Sri Amal Raj M, Assistant Professor, DMC, Institute of Land and Disaster Management, Government of Kerala, Mr. S.R. Nelly, City Project Coordinator, UNDP GOI Project in Greater Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation, Visakhapatnam. So to set the webinar on order, and now I'll request Professor Surya Prakash, Head GMR Division NIDM, for his inaugural address. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Raju. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
First of all, my good morning to all and namaste. I would welcome all the dignitaries and the distinguished speakers for this particular webinar who are joined with us, Dr. V.S. Prakash, Mr. Amal Raj, and Shri Srinivas Rajamaniji, who would be sharing their experiences, information and ideas, as well as innovations in the field of disaster risk reduction and resilience with all our delegates. I welcome all the delegates who have joined with us in this webinar today morning. On behalf of NIDM and on my personal behalf, we have been getting good support not only from the resource persons, experts, but also from our participants in terms of their contributions and active participation. This particular program is actually geographically sensitive in terms of coastal belt, that we have focused it on disaster risk reduction in coastal areas. Coastal areas, due to the proximity of the land to the oceans, have very different environment in comparison to the plain and the hill areas. NIDM has taken this into account and established specialized centers. One of the specialized centers is on coastal disaster risk reduction and resilience, and the other to the high altitude areas of mountains and hills for hill area development. These two have two different kind of geographical risks, as well as anthropogenic and very diverse socio-cultural and economical characteristics, as well as demography. So keeping all these into accounts, and also as my colleague Mr. Raju Thapa said, uh, keeping in view the Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction, which is for the 15 years from 2015 to 2030, and Government of India is following three major agreements which are been actually agreed in the year 2015. That was the Sustainable Development Goals. 17 goals were decided, and the Paris Climate Agreement COP21. And besides this, we are also following with the new urban agenda. And all these actually were merged together and the form of a recommendation after the Sendai conference, World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction in 2015. The 7th Asia Ministerial Conference, which was held from 3rd to 5th of November 2016. And the inaugural address was given by the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, where he has given us a 10-point agenda on disaster risk reduction. These 10 points are actually nothing but synergization and combination of all these 3 to 4 agreements which I have just mentioned. Now, currently, we are not only dealing with the geological, biological, meteorological, but also anthropogenic risks. Chemical, nuclear, radiological is also considered. So this definition has well been defined in terms of the definition of disaster, which has been given under our Disaster Management Act 2005. We have National Level Disaster Management Policy 2009, and also the revised version of our National Disaster Management Plan, which has come up in 2019. Keeping all this into account from the national level, top level, and going down to the grassroots level. Now, as Prime Minister has also advocated vocal for local. So we have to actually implement all our plans and strategies at the local levels. So local capacity development is very, very important. That's the reason that this time in this particular program, we had chosen to have experts from the coastal belt areas only. And they can share their experiences and what kind of problems are we encountering and how we can tackle them and reduce them in advance, or what are our provisions for early warning and other communications for disaster risk reduction, for public awareness and information. So currently COVID-19 is one of the major issues, and pandemics has also affected our coastal states as well. So we have a duty to address this issue also, and request the Jan Andolan, that public campaign initiative launched by Honorable Prime Minister on 8th of October, that Thursday, when he said the Tri Sutri Karyakram, the 3 steps, golden rules, he said, are very necessary for reducing the impacts of this pandemics. That is, wear mask properly, follow face and hand hygiene regularly and thoroughly. The third one is keeping safe distancing. Now, safe distancing of 2 meters, about 6 feet, is very much required. So we would request our all listeners to kindly follow what has been recommended. Till the vaccine comes, we will not be able to manage this situation without following these advisories. So Prime Minister has also said, "Jab tak dawai nahi, tab tak dhilai nahi." So I would say with these words, welcome to all the participants and wish all the best to the organizing team, our moderator, host, and coordinators, as well as to our experts who would be sharing their experience, rich knowledge and experiences with all the participants. Thank you very much. Wish you all the best. Raju, back to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your inaugural address and setting the context of the webinar. So without wasting time, moving ahead to our technical session, there will be presentations from speakers, and after each presentation, it will be followed by question and answer session. So I will request all the participants to raise the question in the question and answer chat box, put to the presenter. So for our first presentation, we have with us Sri Amal Raj M, Assistant Professor, DMC, Institute of Land and Disaster Management, Government of Kerala. Sir will be talking about the COVID response, a case study of Sabarimala pilgrimage from Kerala with special reference to COVID-19 scenario. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. So, very good morning to all. Myself, Amal. I'm Assistant Professor in Disaster Management in a DMC, Disaster Management Center under NIDM. We are situated in Kerala. So, I am presenting something, a crowd management scenario. It is related to the pilgrimage, which is very famous in the South India. It is Sabarimala pilgrimage. So we had some issues, floods in 2018 and 19, which washed out the entire premises of the Sabarimala. It was unprecedented rainfall. So of course, it can be because of the climate change and other implications. And after that, right now we are facing the COVID issue. So what I'm going to share to you is what was going on there and what is happening right now. So the present event, the Sabarimala pilgrimage just started recently. So I'm going to share you that information. Hope it would be giving you some idea, some interest. So let me share a PPT.
Yes, sir, it is visible, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So these are the few photographs from Sabarimala event. See how much crowd it is. Actually, this Sabarimala festival comprises of two distinct events. One, the Mandala season, we start from approximately from November 15th and comes to an end on December 27th probably. And again on the next season, the Makaravilaka festival, another event starts on January 1st, maybe come to an end by January 14th. So these two distinct events are collectively being observed in a 2-month period of time. In other times, in every month, the temple will be open for 5 days. So in these 5 days also, the people can visit there. Other than that, people can visit here on these particular dates, this duration, the time duration. It is a hillock which is located in Pathanamthitta district in Kerala. So the temple is shown there in the second image. See, there are two routes through the forest to reach here. One is a trekking path which you have to go by walk. The other one is it is a kind of route, but only tractors can move through this road usually, or it is permitted to go through this road. So the event that is happening here is it is this much things. So those pilgrims who want to come to visit this temple has to take kind of fasting underworld up to for a minimum of 41 days. So after that fasting, see the first photo where they fill some coconut with ghee and they carry some rice and other things which will be kept on their heads like the second photo, and they move to the hillock or sometimes by walk, sometimes by road. Anyway, they come to this place in Sabarimala. This event happens in actually there are three key locations which I am going to mention to you. A parking ground named Nilakkal, up to which you can come. So the parking space is Nilakkal. Then the bottom of the mountain, it is named Pamba, and the event, the main shrine is Sabarimala. So Nilakkal, Pamba and Sabarimala will be the three words which I always mention to you. The parking ground Nilakkal, Pamba is the ground bottom area, and the Sabarimala Sannidhanam or the main shrine on the top of the hillock. See, by walk you can reach. Sometimes it is permitted up to Pamba. See the fourth photo in which the vehicles are parked at Pamba. Then you are supposed to take a holy bath. See, all these activities are suspended right now. You cannot come like this, or you cannot take a bath because of COVID. That I am going to share to you. So you are supposed to take a holy bath. Before going to the temple, after the holy bath, you are supposed to break one coconut in Pamba. Then see, you are supposed to walk through this hillock in this steep mountain, and there are peaks named Neelimala, Appachimede, like that, and then you are supposed to reach the top of that mountain where the Sannidhanam, the main shrine, is situated. People are sitting there like this. Now everything got changed. Again, I have to tell something more about the pilgrimage, what it is going on there. So after reaching there, our main destiny is to reach the God. There are 18 golden steps, which are shown in the first image. So you are supposed to climb through these golden steps. Each person carrying this bag on their head are supposed to climb through these steps. Before climbing, you are supposed to break another coconut and go and see the deity. After seeing the deity, you are supposed to come back again, take the coconut which you took from your home, filling the ghee. So you just open the coconut, pour the ghee back, and the ghee is given for Abhisheka, which is shown there on the bottom image. So the coconut you broke, it is two pieces. So you are supposed to throw one piece in this big firewood, and after that you can buy the prasada and come back. This was the event which was going on during these days. Many of the activities are not permitted right now. See, anyway, you are supposed to do all these activities with COVID protocols. You can't walk like this, you can't come like this, and you are permitted to come to the shrine with a COVID negative certificate, which is taken just 24 hours in advance. Before reaching the place named the parking ground Nilakkal, you are supposed to show a COVID negative certificate, which is taken 24 hours before. Then if you or the entire team is being checked, and if everybody is COVID negative, you are allowed to go to the place named the Pamba. There you are not supposed to take any bath right now. Per day, during I will show you how many people are coming. At present, during the weekdays, only 1,000 people are permitted to enter to the shrine, and in holy days 2,000 people are permitted to enter the shrine. And you are not supposed to give the ghee for Abhisheka. You can pour the ghee in somewhere else, and you will get back the prasada from some other place, and you can come back. So this is the event going on. And see the terrain. That red circle, it is the southern peninsular India, in which the red circle, there are the key points like Nilakkal, Pamba and Sannidhanam. After parking your vehicle at Nilakkal, the government bus service will be allowed up to Pamba. But right now, if you are COVID negative, you can reach up to Pamba with your light motor vehicle, and you will be dropped down at Pamba. Without taking the holy bath, you are supposed to walk through the hillock, see the trekking path up to this 4,000 feet height Sannidhanam. This is the event happening during the Mandala Puja, and during the Makara Vilaka, it is some other event. These activities were, I told you, it is two distinct events. One starts from November 15th to December 27th, probably, usually, it can vary on the basis of the local Kerala Malayalam calendar and all. See, on January 1st to 14th, another event is happening. It is Makara Vilaka. During the Makara Vilaka, some celestial light will be lightened in a place named Ponnambalamedu, the bottom part it is shown. So as it is lightened in a hillock, those people who are standing in other hillock can easily see these images, this light. See, these are the hillocks where people are standing to view this. So this is the second event, Makara Vilaka. People from South India are very much familiar and see this is a crowd that you can expect to see the Makara Vilaka and see the image in which in the dense forest, a small light will come. There can be many animals there and people are watching there. And in one hillock in 2011, there was a stampede. The location name was Pullumeda. This light will appear in the night time, maybe by the evening at 6:30. So, you know, there will not be sufficient light. People will be having their own lights for Arati and all. And at some particular time, after this Makara Vilaka, they were trying to rush out and a stampede occurred in one of such hillocks and nearly 104 people died. The people visiting includes the people from Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Karnataka, and some people from Maharashtra also comes. And there are people from other countries also, like people from Malaysia, and even some people from Russia also visits here. Anyway, due to COVID protocols, these things are not happening right now. There are a number of stakeholder departments like the Devasam Board is doing many activities. The district administration is coordinating all the functions like food, shelter, sanitation, waste management. And they are coordinating with the police, fire, the BSNL, forest, armed forces, all these people. And they had a history of many incidents, many disasters. Like, to my knowledge, it was like this from 1952, there was a fire in which 66 people died. In 1999, again, another 66 people died in landslide. In 2011, which I mentioned, the casualty occurred, nearly 108 people died in the stampede. Usually, I would say there would be small stampedes. Even in 2016, there was a stampede which resulted the injury of 31 people. In 2019, there was a stampede. Then flood. Again, in the Holy River, there can be floods. In 2013, in the flood, the vehicle parked in the nearby premise of this river got washed out. In 2018, which I mentioned, the recent floods in Kerala, the entire Pamba, the place got washed out. See, there are a number of hazards. So we have to be a bit cautious, bit alert in these circumstances. So other than these listed hazards, there can be fire, there can be terrorism, road accidents, man-animal conflicts. You know, mostly in every year, there would be minimum 1 to 2 deaths due to elephant attack. There are tigers, but to my understanding, there are no such instances of tigers attacking human, and there can be explosion of gunpowder. Number of hazards are there. So what happens that the district administration usually tries a bit cautious on these hazards and they started to do some preparedness activities. Usually before the pilgrimage season, they conduct a safety walk through which they will try to identify many pitfalls. See, the first image in which in the bottom part it is given, it is a fire hydrant compressor motor. Suppose if you are opening a fire hydrant, naturally the pressure will be, if number of many hydrants are opening, the pressure will be reduced. So a compressor motor was installed for the fire and rescue department, which was not functioning for a long period. When we checked there, we identified that it is not functioning. So we report these incidents. This was carried out, I think, in 2017. And see another location where the LPG cylinders are kept without much precautions. So all these things are listed, and see, there are on the way to Sabarimala, there are number of bath carts. So people from various states are just coming and taking their bath. This is not the holy bath place, but some other places there can be drowning deaths. So usually we took number of precautionary measures here. And in this year, because of COVID, you know, all these bath carts are closed. So if any of your friends or relatives are coming, be aware that all these cuts are closed, and thus we identify number of activities are happening here which are hazardous sometimes, and we have mechanism to monitor how many people can be accommodated in every place, and what are the if the excess people are coming, how can they be removed from one place to another? If a disaster happens, like a fire happens, which are the fire prone areas, all these are identified with the help of the DMC in ILDM. One of my friend who is a person, he is working with Andhra SDMA, Faisal, was one of the key member of this group who made the reports for Sabarimala crowd management plan. And there are a number of disaster management activities are also undertaken by the DDMA. The crowd management mechanisms are established in such a way that there are emergency operation centers. These EOCs, emergency operation centers, will be working 24/7 basis. At present, the pilgrims are not allowed to stay in Sannidhanam or any such places. So there is no scope for working 24/7 basis to my understanding, and hence they are working up to the time till the last pilgrim comes out of the temple, and different types of resources are listed and collected and get ready for right deployment. So weather and satellite inputs are getting from various websites or IMD sites, and we are analyzing that. In this holy river Pampa, as it is a steep mountain, when there is a heavy rain, it can result a flash flood in the river Pampa. So through the experience, we had arrived at some conclusions that if this much rain is happening in this particular place, it can result this much inundation. So we have such calculations, and sometimes we are able to take some precautionary measures on this basis, and different types of alerts are being communicated to the pilgrims, to the other stakeholder departments through various means like SMS, WhatsApp, telephone, hotlines. Number of communication mechanisms are also being established. See, all these systems are being installed by our crew itself. In many of the activities, actually, when the event happened in 2011, the stampede happened, there was the main issue was that the stampede happened after 6:30, after seeing the celestial light, and the news reached out of the city on the next day by noon. See, after some 12 to maybe 16 or 20 hours, we got the information because there was no sufficient communication because it is dense forest, no people are there. So we ensure that there are a number of communication mechanisms which will be covered all these places, which includes various kinds of wireless sets, hotlines, fax, internet, VHF radios, ham radios, and number of communication systems. And as you know, people from various states are coming here. We usually ensure that there are people who are able to communicate in Tamil, Telugu, Hindi, English, Malayalam, Kannada, all these languages. And we sometimes keep the contact numbers of all the embassies also from where the people are visiting the temple. And usually every day we are getting nearly 1 lakh or more than 1 lakh people per day to visit this temple. Where right now, because of this COVID, we reduce the number of pilgrims to just 1,000. So this much difference is there, and so these are the activities, and these are the different types of communication machineries which we usually install during to manage the pilgrimage, like broadband internet, fax, SMS alerts, email groups, WhatsApp groups, voice over internet protocols, televisions, radio, and live weather and crowd status are being updated with various stakeholders like district administration, the control rooms, and there are some bulk SMS systems which is available with NIC mail ID. So we sometimes use that, and BSNL is providing some service that we can deploy message to all these people who are under a particular tower. So Sabarimala, there is BSNL tower, and those people who are connected with this tower, the entire pilgrims may get sometimes some messages which would be helpful for them to have an alert like get evacuated or such. All these messages are being deployed to the people very immediately, very effectively. So all these systems are being installed. And see the emergency operations center activities. In the first image, it was in 2015, you can see one of the ministries chairing the event, and people from Karnataka State Disaster Management Authority is also joining with us. Every year when we do the activity, we ensure that the authorities from other states are also there. So it is kind of joint operation centers activities. Then in the bottom images, in every year there are different district collectors are there, so they are taking the lead of the activity. And the first image, it is one video wall in which you can see the news, live alerts, and inflow. See the number of people coming at 5 a.m. probably on 18/12/2017. At 5 p.m. there were 18,000 people who are coming, and just 10,000 people who went out, and nearly 19,000 are staying back. How it is 19,000? Because the people who came on the previous day are also staying here. So considering all these calculations, we are calculating these digits. So if an immediate evacuation is required, we calculate accordingly. This was some instances from the flood that happened in 2013, where the vehicles were just washed out. And see, I mentioned that when the heavy rain happens, see, we identified the watershed area of the particular river, and we analyzed at what extent, if the rain happens in one particular place, how much water can get inundated. See, in Sabarimala, if 55 millimeters of rain is occurring, within 1 hour, the water level can rise up to 3 meters. So, with such ground truth, we can give some kind of alerts or take some precautionary measures with the district administration. And different types of messages, SMS messages are being sent, like stating the particular day, time, inflow is this much, outflow is this much, and stay back is this much. So on getting these messages, all the response agencies can have an idea that how many people has to be evacuated right now. In this year, there is no need of such alert, because we know the people who are coming here, including their details, because those people who want to come to the shrine are supposed to take an e-ticket through the police portal. So with that pass, you are allowed to enter to the shrine. Along with that pass, you should have a COVID negative certificate. So this is the procedure what is going on right now. And in every place, we calculate the area, and accordingly the maximum crowd, comfortable crowd, and minimum crowd expected is calculated, and thus we assume this much people can be allowed on this particular date. This is being carried out in every year, but in this year there is no such calculations are required, because anyway the total number of pilgrims coming may be below 2,000 in a day. This was kind of analysis which was taken from 2015 during the 2015-16 pilgrim season. See, the number of people coming is shown, for example, on 4th January, the number of people reached was nearly 80,000. The number of people who went out was nearly 1 lakh. See, such calculations are being carried out, and we analyze that there is no such any particular pattern is being followed by the pilgrims in every year. See, in 2014-15, 15-16, 16-17, and 17-18 season, this is the number of inflow, the number of people coming to the temple. It varies. It has no any particular pattern is being followed by the pilgrims. So what I want to convey that it is not being followed in a particular day or in particular matter. It varies. So we can't generalize the event. It depends on day by day, the season by season, depending on the local holidays and all, and the number of deaths that happened, the various locations and the number of deaths happened is being analyzed. Majority of the deaths are due to cardiac arrest. There can be road accidents, and as I told, man-animal conflict can be there. There are drowning instances, seizures, head injury, and many other causes. So majority of the death was due to cardiac arrest itself, and thus we analyzed which is the exact place where make some, because it is a hillock. So we have which is the exact place that make the people more struggle to reach the shrine. Thus we identified some places like Apache Meda. It is one of the main point which resulted among this much death. The majority of the death was in Apache Meda. So we ensure that there are cardiac centers with all equipments to save maximum life, and thus we are doing the activities and see the number of cardiac death cases. 2014-15 it was 41, thus 52, 57, thus it reduced to 42, again 22, then finally last year it was 36. In this year, hope there won't be any such accidents or deaths. I think so. And during the Makara Vilak, the particular event that the celestial light appears, I told you the people are standing on various hillocks to see these lights. So again, it is distinct places which are remote area inside the dense forest. So we go there. We sometimes look about for the facilities, recommend various measures like this much water should be made available, medical team should be posted or not. All these are analyzed. I hope this is not required in this current year because people may not be allowed or that much people will not come in this year. And this is the COVID protocol. See the first image. This was the crowd, and at present, due to COVID protocol, people are allowed to pass through in this way. These photos were taken on yesterday, actually. See, the wild boar is also following the COVID protocol. A pig is there. It is from the forest. See, this is the difference. This is the effect of COVID. So it made that much change. And see the river, the holy river. The entire river course was full of pilgrims during the season, and due to COVID, no people are allowed to enter into the river right now. The first image is about the parking ground at Nilakal. See, full of buses, cars, all these vehicles are there. But right now, this image on yesterday, this is the parking ground. Very limited number of vehicles are there. And that too from the other states. Majority of the vehicles are from Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Very limited number of people from Kerala are going to the pilgrimage. So this is happening due to COVID. So these are the changes. So accordingly, we have deployed sufficient staffs at Nilakal. So every person or every crew, every people who are coming to the Sabarimala is asked to get a stop at Nilakal. If they don't have a COVID negative certificate, they are asked to take a test, an antigen test, and if it is negative, they are allowed to go to the temple. Otherwise, they are asked to go back to their home. So this is happening, and we are following all the precautionary measures, and I think this is happening in Sabarimala, and some similar event is happening in Telangana. I think it is the event is Sammaka Saralama Chatara, or it is named Mandaram Chatara. I hope somebody from Telangana will be here to have a look. There are some similarities in the Chatara. I mean, what it is being carried out in Sabarimala may be replicated in many parts sometimes. So while I was cross-checking, analyzing the event, the terrain in Sabarimala, it is hilly terrain, where in Telangana, in Mandaram Chatara, it is plain terrain. The pilgrims' gender here in Sabarimala, men only are reaching in coma. People from above 10, women community above 10 and below 15 are not permitted. Where in Telangana, all men and women are allowed to reach there. In Sabarimala, vegetarian food is followed. In Telangana, the Mandaram Chatara, non-vegetarian food is being followed. In crowd level, it is 1 million in 15 days in Telangana, where in Sabarimala it is 10 million in 60 days. Availability of drinking water, again, it was in Telangana, it was bottled water. In Sabarimala, very recently we started to give free water. Then shelter, there are temporary shelters in Telangana, but in Sabarimala there are permanent shelters. In Telangana, there is a holy river named Jampannavagu, where you can go and take the holy bath. Where in Sabarimala, you can take the bath in River Pampa, which is banned right now. The Telangana, the people are moving without following any particular pattern. They are moving to a place where they want. That's all. The same thing is being happening in Sabarimala. The offering in Telangana, it is jaggery. They are throwing jaggery, where, as I mentioned, here they are throwing coconuts. In both places, police is taking the control of the event, and all other stakeholder departments are working. So, I was just trying to have a comparison in different states and different events. That's all. I want to inform that in all these places there can be similar hazards, like stampede can be common. In Telangana, there are two road network, where in Kerala there is single road network. Drought is a hazard, where in Kerala it is flood and drought are hazards. Forest fire is common in Telangana. And Kerala also there can be fires. Organic waste, epidemic outbreak, all these can be common. Road accidents are common. In Telangana there can be electric shock, and Kerala now we are getting into a better state. So I was just trying to compare the events. This is happening in view of this COVID scenario. That's all. Hope I just presented something that happening here in Kerala. Thank you for listening. Over to you, NIDM.
Thank you very much, sir, for a wonderful presentation, sir, and giving us an insight of the Sabarimala pilgrimage and the actions that have been taken. So there are a few questions from the participants, sir. I would like to raise that, sir. So the first question is, sir, sometimes it is very difficult to explain people about certain restriction that has been imposed due to COVID-19 situation. So, sir, how to overcome such a scenario so that it can also be implemented in other pilgrimage gathering? Sir, should I repeat, or you got my question, sir?
I think I am just trying to see the questions.
Actually, sir, some questions they are been directed towards the directly towards the host. So
okay.
You might. Yes,
so sir. I cannot see. Okay.
Yes,
can you tell once again?
Okay, sir. The question is, sir, sometimes it is very difficult to explain certain people about the restriction that has been imposed due to COVID situation. So what are the steps that we can take so that we can learn some other pilgrimage gatherings also, they can learn from here, like how to explain certain people, because they are so much in sir, their beliefs, their worship. So it is difficult for them to explain the restrictions, sir. So how to overcome that?
To those believers, I would say, hope the Lord Ayyappa will cure everything. I would say like that. And the priest was telling that you should follow the same routine procedures like fasting and all in your home. You need not come here, but do the activities. This was the message from the priest of the temple. I would say, let's go with that in the current scenario, and we should be more cautious. I think in the public interest, we should follow that, I would say.
Yes, sir. And one more question, sir, last question. This from Sir Pradeep. Like he's saying, sir, like those, sir, are you recording the people who visit this pilgrimage site so that once they go back to their home, so that they can be monitored and like whether they are acting as a like carrier or not? So once who are attended the pilgrimage site, are they monitored, sir, once they return back to their home?
After reaching back their home, I think they are not monitored. But since they are registering with us to enter the pilgrimage, their details are available. So if such one person is having COVID, and if it is being noted by us, we can get precaution. We can alert the people who came with that group, or we have the list.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for wonderful presentation, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So Now, moving ahead with our next presentation. So for our next presentation, I would like to call Mr. Srinivasa Rajamani Nilli, City Project Coordinator, UNDP, Government of India Project, Greater Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation, Visakhapatnam. Sir will be talking about the disaster risk reduction and resilience activity in Visakhapatnam under the UNDP GOI project. Sir has more than 22 years of experience and is currently engaged with the United Nations Development Program, New Delhi. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Raju. Good morning to everyone. I am Srinivasa Rajamani, City Project Coordinator, UNDP Project, Visakhapatnam. So today's my presentation is on disaster risk reduction and resilience activities in Visakhapatnam under UNDP GOI project. So development is very important, but there is some positive and negative consequences for the development. If you look after negative consequences, these negative consequences may increase the vulnerability of the people and location. And these are because of inappropriate land use, planning, environmental degradation, unplanned urbanization, exposure of population and assets to hazard locations, and economic inequalities, weak social organization, deficient infrastructure, and weak governance system. These may increase the disaster risk, and this disaster risk will be magnified by the climate change. So before starting main presentation, I wish to give some definitions of the concepts. First one is disaster risk reduction. So disaster risk reduction is the concept and practice of reducing disaster risks through systematic efforts to analyze and manage the causal factors of disasters, including through reduced exposure to hazards, lessened vulnerability of people and property, wise management of land and environment, and improved preparedness for adverse events. This definition is given by UNISDR. And coming to climate change adaptation, it is an adjustment in natural or human systems in response to actual or expected climatic stimuli or their effects, which moderates harm or exploits beneficial opportunities. And coming to resilience, it refers to the ability of individuals, communities, and systems to be resistant to shocks and stresses brought about by natural hazards and bounce back better or bounce forward. There is relationship between disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation. Coming to DRR, it emphasizes on prevention, mitigation, preparedness, and recovery from geological hazards such as earthquakes, landslides, etc., as well as hydrometeorological hazards such as floods and cyclones. Coming to climate change adaptation, this CCA mainly linked with hydrometeorological disasters. It aims at reducing the vulnerability due to climate change or variability risk through adaptation. It focuses on adaptation to gradual changes in climate over a long period, such as increases in mean temperature, sea level rise, changes in rainfall pattern, etc. DRR and CCA strategies have several similarities and overlaps. However, both contribute to enhancing the resilience of systems and communities. Both can be implemented in a systematic and integrated manner. For example, development of drought or flood-resistant crop could contribute to both DRR and CCA. Coming to Visakhapatnam, in this presentation, mainly I will cover the implementation of UNDP GOI project in Visakhapatnam. Coming to Visakhapatnam details, once this Visakhapatnam city is a small fishing village. Slowly and gradually, this village transformed into a coastal industrial city. The city administration is Greater Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation, and the city has 624 square kilometers and 18.83 lakh population as per 2011 census. This city is divided into 8 zones and 83 wards, and Government of India developing this city as one of the smart city in India. Coming to Visakhapatnam city characteristics, we have two complex dynamic systems, one from marine and another from climate. This city has continuous state of change with respect to spatial growth, economic development, and environmental quality. Main hazard risks are cyclones, tsunami, heat waves, epidemics, industrial accidents, earthquakes, and landslides. This is our project title, Developing Resilient Cities through Risk Reduction in the Context of Disaster and Climate Change. So this project initially started as Climate Risk Management Project. At that time, this project title is Climate Risk Management in Urban Areas through Disaster Preparedness and Mitigation. And at that time, this project is Urban Disaster Risk Reduction component of major UNDP state level project enhancing the institutional and community resilience to disasters and climate change. This project is routed through Ministry of Home Affairs at central level and through Revenue and Disaster Management Department, that is APSDMA at state level. And in Visakhapatnam, this project is being implemented by Greater Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation. The main objectives of this project is to reduce disaster risk in urban areas by enhancing institutional capacities to integrate climate risk reduction measures in development programs and undertake mitigation activities based on scientific risk assessment. Another main objective is to enhance capacities of local governments and urban communities, including private sector stakeholders, to manage disaster and climate risk. These are our main project components: conducting scientific studies like hazard risk and vulnerability assessment, preparation of management plans, mainstreaming DRR, CCA and development programs, capacity building of institutions and community, strengthening early warning systems, knowledge management, public-private partnerships and collaboration projects for DRR, and community resilience and support to government. We have started this project in Visakhapatnam city during 2014 by initiating hazard risk and vulnerability analysis study. At that time, our project main focus was on hydrometeorological disasters. So we have focused mainly on hydrometeorological disasters, and at that time, Visakhapatnam city is 6 zones and 72 wards. In 2015, nearby two municipalities, Anakapalli and Bhimli, they came into jurisdiction of Visakhapatnam. And in the second phase, this Developing Resilient Cities project, now we have initiated multi-hazard risk and vulnerability and capacity assessment study for Visakhapatnam city, and this MHRVA study is in progress now. In previous HRVA, these are the main recommended actions. For cyclone, the main recommended actions are enforcement of building codes, structural changes and retrofitting of buildings, provision of underground power lines, vegetative windbreakers. Main recommended actions for tsunami and storm surge are improved coordination with line departments for fast response, provision of tsunami shelters, dam considerations in planning. Main recommended actions for epidemics are improved monitoring, water, sanitation, hygiene at school, community and city level. In this study, the consultants and stakeholders requested and suggested for more awareness campaigns for all disasters, and also recommended for IT and database development and GS-based decision support system for the Visakhapatnam city. Coming to preparation of management plans, we have prepared city-level disaster management plan as part of district disaster management plan. In this plan, we have covered all components of pre-disaster, during and post-disaster components. And after preparing a CDMP, we have prepared action plans for specific disasters, and also prepared HRVA reports and disaster management plans for 13 districts of Andhra Pradesh, 14 state government departments, and 13 cities in the Andhra Pradesh state. At present, we are preparing ward level disaster management plans, school level disaster management plans, and also encouraging hospitals to have a disaster management plans and participate in mock drill programs regularly. We have prepared heat wave action plan for Visakhapatnam city, and this year we have incorporated COVID-19 points also. And at present we are preparing climate change action plan, heat mitigation plan, and air quality management plan for the Visakhapatnam city. Coming to strengthening early warning system part, we are focusing on both technology and non-technological methods. Previously, we have developed one SMS communication package, that is web-based model. Using this system, we can send early warning messages to the selected persons in selected wards, zones at city level. We can send messages in both English and Telugu languages, and we have included more than 10,000 volunteers' contact numbers in this system. And this system was tested at cyclone and tsunami mock drill exercises. And now we have one city operation center which was established under Smart City Mission. And now City Operation Center is looking after dissemination of early warning system. As per our local administrators and community request, we are more focusing on non-technological methods also. At vulnerable locations, we are encouraging community-based disaster risk management. In Andhra Pradesh, recently the government, they have started secretariats at ward level and village level. So we are planning to involve these ward secretaries and village or ward volunteers in disaster response and early warning dissemination services also. This mainstreaming, disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation and development planning, this is very important component in our UNDP project. Mainstreaming means looking critically at each activity that is being planned, not only from the perspective of reducing the disaster vulnerability of that activity, but also from the perspective of minimizing that activity's potential contribution to hazard-specific vulnerability. Mainstreaming ensures that development is protected through disaster risk reduction elements, and this development does not increase people's vulnerability to disasters. So this is flow diagram of how we can mainstream DRR-CCA into development process. First, we have to identify natural hazard risk. Then we have to evaluate the risk. If the risk is acceptable, then we have to keep continuous monitoring and review. If the risk is not acceptable, then we have to identify the ways to prevent or manage the risk. So we have to identify DRR adaptation options. Then we have to prioritize these DRR and adaptation options, and then incorporate DRR-CCA into different plans, strategies, policies, regulations, budget, sectoral plans, programs, and projects. In Visakhapatnam city, we have, in the city administration, we have selected four departments. One is public health, engineering, city planning, and education. Coming to public health section, mainstreaming DRR-CCA, we have encouraged city administration to strengthen the monitoring activities. For this, USAID, which is one of the partner of this UNDP GY project, they have given another project that is related to WASH and support to Swachh Bharat mission. And under this mainstreaming part only, we have prepared heat wave action plan for the Visakhapatnam city, and now we are encouraging and initiated some water, sanitation, hygiene related programs at city level, ward level, community level, and school level. Coming to mainstreaming DRR-CCA in engineering section, we have a project that is underground cabling under World Bank Disaster Recovery Project, which came after, is sanctioned after Hudud cyclone. And Visakhapatnam city, we have LED lighting project for energy saving and efficiency. And for Visakhapatnam, we have rich plantations. Most of the plantation, maybe more than 80% plants, especially big plants, were uprooted during Hudud cyclone in 2014. So after Hudud cyclone, city administration, industries, and stakeholders, we have chosen massive plantation activities and parks development in Visakhapatnam. Now we have again more than 30% green cover in the Visakhapatnam city. Even though we are mainly focusing on plantation activities also. Visakhapatnam city, it also called as Green City and City of Destiny because of its richness in greenness and biodiversity. Under Smart City project, there is one sub-project that is beachfront development. And also another project is shoreline protection, because in Visakhapatnam, in some places, we have beach erosion problem. To control this, with the support of NIOT and under World Bank Disaster Recovery Project, the project is Shoreline Protection Project. And coming to regular activities, road widening and stormwater management, these two are the regular practices of the city administration engineering section. Coming to education sector, we have initiated preparation of school level disaster management plans, and we are giving pivotal training programs for school teachers on disaster management, climate change, and environmental management, and conducting awareness programs for school children and school management committees in which school children's parents are part. And we are initiated coverage of disaster management topics in school curriculum. Every month now, one classroom activity, they are covering one classroom activity and one non-classroom activity on disaster management. And we have also initiated disaster management mock drills in schools. Last year, we have conducted almost 6 to 9 mock drills at school level. And coming to city planning, under mainstreaming DRR CCA in development, we have incorporated health and resilience as mission target for Visakhapatnam Smart City project. And also initiated, encouraged to establish command control center for Visakhapatnam city. This center later its name was changed as City Operation Center. This City Operation Center, it acts as emergency operation center at the time of disasters and emergencies. Another point is solar energy projects in Visakhapatnam. Most of the government buildings and parking space we are utilizing for the power generation using solar panels. And also in Visakhapatnam, we have one floating solar panel, which is a one success story from Visakhapatnam Smart City. Now we are mainly focusing on urban livability part, the guidelines prepared by National Staff Urban Affairs and the Smart City Mission. Coming to capacity building of part of the UNDP project, we are planning these capacity building programs for both government officials and for the community also. We are conducting different training programs, workshops, sometimes this year webinars and online programs because of COVID, and sending government officers to some other training programs and workshops conducted by various agencies and some private sectors also, institutions also. So in these training programs and workshops, we are covering all topics, important topics like preparation of DM plans, mainstreaming, IRS, incident response system, risk sensitive planning and inter frameworks, psychosocial care, and sometimes knowledge management, case studies, livelihood diversification, etc. These are the photographs we have taken during our community level training programs. We are conducting community level disaster awareness training programs for mainly for the old towns and urban villages, because Visakhapatnam basically it's a fisherman village. We have almost 18 fisherman villages within the Visakhapatnam city, in which 3-4 are traditional fishermen. They are more exposed to hydrometeorological disasters. So we are conducting these training programs with the support of zonal commissioners, and sometimes we are conducting fishermen training programs at evening time, so in view of not to disturb their regular livelihood at daytime. Another activity is civil defense. Civil defense training programs for the youth in the Visakhapatnam city. These training programs we are conducting for 20 days, 10 days for theory and 10 days for practicals. And also we are conducting some mock drills in association with armed forces, line departments, with schools, and with NGOs. Coming to knowledge management components, we are developing information, education and communication IEC materials. We are conducting sharing, knowledge sharing workshops, meetings, events, and also improving network coordination among stakeholders, conducting some baseline studies, and developing urban observatory, and conducting some case studies to document best practices and lessons learned. Previously, we have conducted one Hudud cyclone case study for Visakhapatnam city. And we are improving networks and coordination among line departments, government ministries, research organizations, UN and other international agencies, and Science City of AP, APHRDA, and APSDMA, and universities, cities, districts, NGOs, welfare associations, experts, consultants, students, and community. Coming to community resilience part, previously we have conducted one livelihood diversification study by taking 4 communities: fishing, agriculture, tribal, and urban. We have conducted this study at 50 locations in the Visakhapatnam district, and this project main objective is to study the livelihood pattern past and present, and to identify pressures from climate change and disasters on community and their livelihoods, and to identify alternative livelihoods. And finally, we have prepared an action plan to introduce identified alternative livelihoods in the community. Based on this study, we have conducted some skill development programs for fishermen and weaker sections. And at 5 locations, we have introduced community-based disaster risk management for the community level disaster response. Last year, we have implemented one small short-term project with the support of government of Japan. This is schools preparedness project for schools. In this project, we have mainly 4 steps. One is preparation of school level disaster management plan, then training to school children and teachers, awareness creation in community, and school tsunami mock drills. In 2018, we have cyclone Sicily experience for northern Andhra Pradesh, especially Visakhapatnam and Vijayanagaram districts. At that time, as per the request received from the state government, we have implemented one short-term cyclone quickly recovery support project for the government of Andhra Pradesh. We have taken Srikakulam and Vijayanagaram districts as project districts, and this project we have divided into 8 sub-projects. First sub-project is we have conducted cyclone quickly case study by involving Andhra University. Second sub-project is habitat planning. Third is mainstreaming DRR CCA for planning, engineering, health, education, agriculture, and horticulture department through APHRDA, Andhra Pradesh Human Resource Development Institute. And third one is capacity building. We have conducted incident response system training programs, capacity building training programs, and early warning systems with the support of Birla Institute of Technology, Hyderabad campus, and APHRDA. And another project is Masons training program at village level. And flood management project we have conducted through JNTU, Jawaharlal Nehru Technological University. And we have initiated CBDRM programs in some vulnerable villages in Srikakulam district by involving Indian Red Cross, human rights, and NGOs. And last sub-project is restoration of ecosystem through Forest Department at Telinilapuram Bird Sanctuary. Another interesting and important component of the project is public-private partnership projects for disaster risk reduction and climate change adaptation. The main objective of this PPP project is to develop better understanding of the needs for risk-sensitive investment planning in private sector to secure their assets and investments. The second objective is to promote business continuity planning in private sector industries and corporate houses in the event of disasters. The third objective is to facilitate partnership between private sector and state and city authorities to promote DRR by ensuring CSR investments in disaster risk reduction activities. Fourth objective is to promote private sector to act as supporting pillar during disaster response to mitigate the impact and reduce the loss of life and property. And finally, to improve urban resilience by engaging public-private players through new business opportunities in disaster risk reduction. So these are the 5 PPP projects initially we have initiated by involving different private sector parties. So first project is developing a health information management system. In this project, our main focus is to develop health database for Visakhapatnam city and integrate it with City Operation Center of Smart City Visakhapatnam. Second PPP project is integrating emergency health services into the City Operation Center. In this project, we are developing health emergency management system. In this project, we will identify escape routes and evacuation routes, and also we procure and install GPS tracking and navigation system for ambulances. And finally, this will be a good health emergency management system, which is very useful for the Visakhapatnam city. Third PPP is on mapping critical community facilities. For this project, we have involved VVN Technologies Geoinformatics Organization. Fourth project is enhancing the resilience of critical community facilities, and project PPP partner are NTPC, that is National Thermal Power Corporation, and Andhra University. Fifth project is related to IEC activities, awareness programs at community level by involving Reliance Foundation. After initiating PPP projects, now we have initiated short-term collaboration projects by involving government agencies, societies, NGOs, and private sector. So first collaboration project is urban environmental screening for disaster risk reduction. In this project, just we conduct environmental screening, which is in a first part of the environmental impact assessment process. So by this screening process, we conduct in consultation with stakeholders, and we identify local environment problems and hazardous factors, and identify some mitigation options. After conducting this part, we are planning to implement some awareness programs at community level. This project we are implementing through Environment Protection Training and Research Institute at Hyderabad. Second project is on water bodies restoration. In this water bodies restoration, our plan is to map the present water bodies in the city and also conduct the change detection studies, decadal changes. We are conducting 10 years, 20 years, 30 years intervals, and also we are one activity is assessment of groundwater quality and quantity of these water bodies, and finally preparation of action plan to restore lakes and effective water resource management in Visakhapatnam city through a consultative process. For this project, we are involving CIDAR, Visakhapatnam, and third project is natural drains and catchment area development. So for natural drains, it's a mapping activity, and these maps will be integrated with the City Operations Center. And luckily, NTPC again they came forward to support to develop into catchment area. They have, as per their suggestion, we have selected Swayambhuvaram Hillock area. For this area, NTPC they are supporting for the preparation of DPR, and after preparation of DPR, NTPC they may move forward for the development of this catchment area and mitigation measures. Fourth collaboration project is related to kitchen rooftop vertical gardens to minimize climate change impacts in Visakhapatnam city. So, see, this kitchen rooftop and vertical gardens, this is not new to Visakhapatnam city or people. But our main focus in this project is to encourage builders and architects to bring good architectural designs for rooftop kitchen gardens and vertical gardens in building designs. And our another focus is to develop a small models for rooftop kitchen and vertical gardens with latest techniques, and to sensitize construction companies to go for kitchen rooftop gardens under green measures, and to sensitize communities, sensitization of community on these same lines through NGOs and residential welfare associations, and finally prepare a guidelines which is useful for the society. Fifth collaboration project is development of oxygen parks as effective lung space in Visakhapatnam. In Visakhapatnam, we have many parks, more than 1,000 parks, but this oxygen parks development in this project, we are mainly focusing on development of parks using native plant species and introduce the plants which support local biodiversity. For this project, we are involving one NGO called Green Climate Team. Sixth project is mapping and filming of hazardous and vulnerable areas using drones by involving a private sector. And seventh collaboration project is disaster risk audit of community facilities by involving university. And eighth last collaboration project is life protection system for fishermen using GPS. As initial stage, our plan is to provide training to fishermen on GPS and provide GPS units to some traditional fishermen who are more vulnerable to hydrometeorological hazards like cyclones. In Visakhapatnam city, we have formed committees to support the city administration. We have formed committees in one committee is related to environment and climate change. Second committee is on disaster management. Third committee is school safety. Fourth committee is on smart city. Fifth one is on biodiversity management committee. Sixth one is plastic waste management committee. Seventh one, this committee is for water sanitation and hygiene. For COVID-19 prevention and control, from UNDP GYA project, we are supporting the city administration in these lines, especially for coordination support to the nodal officers in COVID-19 operations, disaster and crisis management with respect to COVID-19, partnership development for COVID-19 prevention and control, COVID-19 related waste management plan preparation, water, sanitation, hygiene initiatives at community and school level, capacity building and knowledge management for ward secretaries and public health workers, and community resilience activities with respect to COVID-19. In this community resilience, we are planning to work in these new concepts lines, risk communication and community engagement, IEC, and social and behavioral change communication, psychosocial care, and livelihood security through diversification and alternative livelihood options. And this one is one of the initiative from UNDP project to city administration. We are developing urban observatory for Visakhapatnam city. Already we have for Visakhapatnam city. Already we have one city operation center, but to support the city and fill the gaps in city operation center, we have initiated this urban observatory, and this observatory will be part of COC, and this will be integrated with India Observatory, which is in Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. The main objective to develop this urban observatory is to support the administrators in decision making, improve governance in the city, and improve coordination and collaboration and network among cities and stakeholders. The main components we have divided into 8 parts. One component is environment and climate change. Second one is disaster and emergency management. Third one is urban services. Fourth one is related to health, and fifth one is housing. Sixth one is seventh one is smart city initiatives, and last two are related to data narratives, coordination, collaboration, and network. This urban observatory will be a GIS-based platform, and this will be destination for all data, reports, and application which can be shared with the community and stakeholders. And this observatory, it is useful for the fast track data capturing using mobile devices, and it enables citizen engagement initiatives, and it provides dashboards for informed decision making. From UNDP GUI project, we are supporting the city administration to achieve sustainable development goals for Visakhapatnam city. And also, we are happy to inform that Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change and UNDP, we are going to initiate another, already we have started another project, that is enhancing climate resilience of India's coastal communities. And this project is implementing through Forest Department in Andhra Pradesh state. And in this project, the main aim is particularly ecosystem main activities are related to ecosystem restoration and improve climate adaptive livelihoods. In Andhra Pradesh state, we have 4 locations. One is at Visakhapatnam district, second location is at East Godavari, fourth one is Krishna district, and fourth location is at Nellore district. So I think this project is also more related to enhance the climate resilience of India's coastal communities. So these are all the efforts of UNDP in Andhra Pradesh and Visakhapatnam particularly for the disaster risk reduction and improve resilience in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for your presentation. So, sir, there are a few questions, sir, that I would like to, that has been raised by the participants, sir. So I would like to put on that question, sir.
Okay. Please.
So the first question is from Sir H. Anusa, sir. The question is, sir, like, please let us know the precautions that has been taken after the chemical leakage. That, sir.
Yeah, I think this question is related to LG Polymers gas accident.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So at present, actually at present we are preparing ward level plan in that particular ward number 92 of Zone 6, and also there are some recommendations from the committees, and government is planning to go on the lines of recommendations suggested by the committees.
Okay, sir. And there is one more question, sir. Sir, while discussing in Kitli cyclone, you have mentioned about the restoration of ecosystem, sir. Sir, yes. Participants want to know, sir, what type of activities are carried out in restoring of ecosystems?
Yeah, actually we have initiated 3 types of activities. One is tanks development. There are some 3-4 lakes. So tank bund development is one activity that is under structural measure. Second one is we have provided some stands for the birds, and for the third one is awareness creation in the community, and fourth one is there is one environmental education center. So we have supported environmental education center for its strengthening.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us for our presentation. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Okay,
so now for our last presentation, I would like to pass on the stage to V.S. Prakash, member, Karnataka Tank Conservation and Development Authority. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Raju Tapa, and let me share my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, is it visible? Is it?
Sir, it is saying that you are starting to share content. So just give few seconds, sir. I think it will be visible.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Thanks to NIDM for organizing this webinar, and also providing me the opportunity to meet all friends who have worked in this domain, and extremely gives me great pleasure to spend time and listen to. First 2 speakers have really given excellent insights into the issue of disaster management, and especially the first one, Sabarimala. I was really impressed, because it is taking one case, very relevant, and because also the same time, going back in memory, the coastal area, because though it is a coastal risk reduction, coastal disaster risk reduction and resilience, and also linked to climate change. This was very interesting. And then around 1984-85, I had the opportunity of working in Kerala, Idukki. I was a scientist in the Central Groundwater Board, and I have done mapping, hydrogeological mapping in and around Sabarimala. So the first speaker took me back to 1984-85, thanks to him. It was a really good presentation. Second one, Visakhapatnam area. It was really good. A lot of work is being done by UNICEF, UNDP, and well, a nice presentation. And now I would like to share a few of my thoughts out of my own experiences from 1974-70 till now. 74 to 79, I was in the state government in the groundwater department. I used to go to coastal areas, and the situation then I've seen with my own eyes. Then again, I joined the Government of India Central Groundwater Board, 79 to 98. I had the opportunity to begin working in the coastal area of Karnataka very extensively. 3-4 years, I was just camping in the coastal districts of Karnataka state. What happened that time? A sugar factory started in Udupi, Brahmavara. So the sugar factory started, and they wanted to promote the farmers to grow sugarcane. So then they realized that they need more water to grow sugarcane. Then the deputy commissioner at Udupi, Dakshina Kannada, he wrote a letter to CGWB, and I went there, and we carried out detailed investigation. We drilled for the first time in Karnataka tube wells in Karnataka. There is a subtle difference between bore well and tube well. The tube wells are in the alluvium. The coastal alluvium of Karnataka, though it is very, very thin compared to Andhra Pradesh, I had the opportunity of, exploration and exploration, constructing the first tube well in the Karnataka coastal line. Then came again, the water scarcity in the areas adjoining coastal regions of Karnataka. That is a little bit hilly area, upland area. Then I had the great privilege, opportunity of taking tram rig, imported one, and drilling the first borewell of more than 1,000 feet in Karnataka state. I had the opportunity of doing that work, and I will going to present some of the. Yeah. So today, the NIDM has taken me back, my nostalgia, and to many years back. So just sharing my of the thoughts, very straight thoughts, to share with you. And then when we talk about climate change, disaster management, and coastal disaster risk reduction, what we need to understand is vulnerable to risk as understood by us through the literature available, through the studies carried out. One thing which really stands out prominently is the IPCC versus NIPCC. This is, NIPCC, IPCC. Yes, a subtle difference is there, and well, some debate is going on, but still, IPCC finally, everybody has accepted to agree with the IPCC. But anyway, nevertheless, NIPCC, whatever issues they have raised, it should be in the back of our mind. It's just to get the clarity in the whatever we are doing and take it forward. So, in the warmer, when IPCC and IPCC, when we look at it, warmer planet will lead to more extreme weather. It's the IPCC, the warmer, the global warming and things like that. And, well, researchers, as per NIPCC, many researchers, it has brought out, it is published, they see that experienced trends in increased cyclone storm surges is not observed. I mean, there is no trend in increasing storm surge, increasing cyclones. Well, there is no trend to say that there is increased cyclone activity in this Indian Ocean or otherwise across the globe. As in other parts of the world, increasing impact of tropical cyclone is found, but their economic analysis is said to indicate increasing damages due to tropical cyclone attributable to economic and demographic factors and not to any increase in frequency or intensity of cyclones. This is NIPCC. See, the demographic factor, economic factor, they are playing critical role in enhancing the impact of the cyclones and storm surges. This is one of the strong, and I have gone through the papers, maybe it looks to be quite convincing also. Then inflation, the growth in population, increase in wealth of people in the coastal areas are the factors contributing to the increased impact. It is another opinion. Yes, true. We have been observing it, as I said, from 1973, 74 till now. Well, to some extent, yes, just taking that into consideration. Point of concern is increasing damages due to cyclone in the recent past few decades. Yes, there is concern. Increasing damages, economic losses. So when you look at it, there is a need for convergence of science, engineering, and technology. See, believe me when I say, though we read science and technology, science and engineering, so probably there is a certain difference. Science, engineering, and technology. Science is how to do, what is there, understanding it, insights. Engineering, how to do it. Technology, well, how to maintain it. So, have we really spent time in putting the science, engineering, and technology, inputs into whatever we are talking about? Is one thing we need to really introspect. Personally, I feel lot has been done, and lot more needs to be done. I mean, I think most of you or all of you agree with me. So, well, when it comes to climate change and impact in Karnataka, there are attempts made by Green Growth Strategy for Karnataka way back, almost about 10 years back. Then there was a Bangalore Climate Change Initiative that was also about 12 to 14 years back. And EMPRI, Environment Management Planning Research Institute, a subsidiary of a autonomous body of government of Karnataka, they have also carried out some studies. So there are attempts made to really get insight what could be the impact of climate change as of now and probably in the years to come. So, well, just happy to share. I don't mean these are some of the insights which have emerged. Say, for example, the GHG emission sectoral breakup, the electricity guide, electricity, for example, diesel pump sets and electricity production, they are the biggest emitter of GHG gases, which comes to about 36%, transport 10%, residential is only 3%, cement industry 9.5%, and steel industry 10%, other industry 2.3%, agriculture is contributing to about 20%, and waste is contributing to about 3.6%. So, well, when we talk about climate change impact assessment, and mitigating the impact of climate change, this is one thing which we all talk about. So, some fair idea is has emerged about what is happening around the Karnataka. And the GHG emission, the agriculture sector, when you take about agriculture sector, enteric, the fermentation is 65% GHG emission is in this sector. Rice cultivation is 17%, livestock is 8%. So some pictures emerged from understanding. What is the impact on the weather? I'm just presenting the top one is about what is the expected rainfall. This is very interesting. The as I said, the Green Growth Initiative and BCCA, Bangalore Climate Change Initiative, the studies carried out, and the top one, the impact on the rainfall system in the years to come, indicate that the rainfall in the coastal area is going to decline. The rainfall in the interior Karnataka, the green color, that's going to really substantially increase. What I mean to say is, for example, there is a plan now to really transport water from this area. Say, for example, what we call this Hemavati catchment, Netravati, Ethinole, to these drought areas of Kolar. Now, in the future days, maybe now the water instead of transporting from west to east, maybe it may be required that some situation may arise. Think about transporting water from east to west. Maybe, I mean, so there is one thing, a study which is carried out by that, IAC at the time indicate there is a rainfall declining in the rainfall in the coastal area. These two pictures is the impact on the minimum maximum temperature regime, how is going to impact. So probably we have got some ideas, as our friend from Visakhapatnam was mentioning about. So we have got some idea, probably keeping this idea, how we are where we're heading and how really further insight are required. So for example, impact, when I talk about disaster and especially climate change and related issues, the biological effects of carbon dioxide enrichment, species extinction, human health effects, environment and impact, especially in hydrology, the livelihood issues, economic activities, all these things really crop up, probably which are very much related to disasters and disaster management also. So here I do remember this National Cyclone Risk Mitigation Project, NCRMP, phase 1 and phase 2. Karnataka was in phase 2 and Andhra Pradesh was in phase 1. I think now it has entered into phase 2. And it was almost in 2014, I got superannuated. And then I was in the triple ITB and triple IT Dharwad and things like that. But still, I keep myself now keeping abreast of myself about the what is going on around. Whatever I know, I may be totally wrong, but whatever I have is something like about 4,700 crores has been spent under the NCRMP in attending and addressing issues related to this cyclone risk mitigation project along the coastal lines of the country, including Karnataka. Maybe Karnataka something like 121 or 127 crores has been spent. But I was just trying to look for any information or what are the impact, what is the assessment, what is third-party assessment of the works carried out, but I could not get it. Probably NIDM may be able to help me. Certainly, I will be interested to know that. Probably, it's classified into category 1, category 2, NCRMP, high vulnerability, low vulnerability, things like that. And Karnataka was put under the low vulnerability. And high vulnerability, Andhra Pradesh, Gujarat, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, and Kerala are also in the category 2. It's a World Bank assisted project. And so there are again imagine to A, B, C, D group, project management, technical assistance, construction of cyclone risk mitigation infrastructure, development of early warning dissemination system. But what I was, trying to go back and now reflections is the risk and vulnerability. Probably could have been given much more importance. Well, could not do that. Maybe there is one thing, So anyway, when we talk about cyclones, now we do agree that cyclones have their own tropical cyclones have their own benefits too. Not that carrying impression cyclones are very bad. They are yamas. They are going to kill all of us. Now, tropical cyclones, they have got benefits. They have got drought conditions, carry heat and energy away from the tropics and transport it towards temperate latitudes, thus helps to maintain, there is something, equilibrium in the Earth's troposphere and maintain relatively stable and warm temperature worldwide. It has got cyclone, has got. When we talk about risk reduction for especially in the coastal areas, we do talk about adaptation. We do talk about resilience. In the present context, the word resilience has been used, and well, a need for adaptation plus resilience. When we say adaptation, refers to responding to a known change or predict and prevent. Predict, you know what is going to happen, and prepare and prevent it. Resilience is best understood as the ability to deal with unknowable future shocks or stresses. So today the theme, the resilience, will emphasize probably in the coastal regions, the many factors are unknowable future shocks. How to really prepare ourselves for these future shocks or stresses is really the theme of the day. What we have done so far, well, so many awareness we have created, so many people we have brought, this we have done thing, we have done that thing. Well, but the theme of today webinar is to prepare ourselves for the unknowable future shocks and stresses. This is a challenge. This is a really challenge, really, to address this issue. Let me really, take some of the things which is going around. And well, this is the coastal area of Karnataka, Dakshin Kannada, Udupi. Water crisis in Dakshin Kannada, Udupi. The government employee quarters at Doddanagudda and well, including the Deputy Commissioner office, faced acute water crisis. This is the picture of April 2019. Unprecedented evaporation led to decline in water level in the Tumbe Dam. Tumbe Dam is the place from which water is drawn to supply the needs of Mangalore and part of Udupi city. The water level in 68 borewells dug by the Ullal city municipality declined drastically. Areca inflorescence dried and drooping affected the yield. The flow of rivers Netravati and Komardhara stopped completely in Uppinangadi. Well, when I say this, when I stressing it, what I mean is it was unheard of in all the previous years. Netravati was going dry, Komardhara going dry. It was unheard of. Nobody even could imagine it. But this happened. That's why I was just making a mention about how good are we, how well we have understood the hydrological regime. Well, similarly, there was a meeting, a specific meetings held in the coastal districts of Karnataka. This one picture is from Udupi to really address the issue of water scarcity in the coastal districts of Karnataka. And it was, the minister and the MLA was also there. And well, at the time, the detailed project report, I don't know what happened later. Normally, next month, next rain, they forget the problem. Maybe I don't know what has happened. I don't know. I will try to really find out. But anyway, this picture I'm showing you just emphasize the gravity of the situation. Everybody was worried. Water scarcity was looming large in these coastal districts of Karnataka state. The Dharmasthala temple, thousands and thousands of devotees. And our friend in the first talk was mentioning about Sabarimala. This Dharmasthala is the one thing, irrespective of caste and creed, people, throughout the year, thousands, in terms lakhs of people, they go to Dharmasthala. And now, in 2019, Sri Dharmasthala Virendra Hegde, and not the government, Dharmasthala Virendra Hegde made a plea, requested all the devotees, please postpone your visit to this Dharmasthala. You got acute water scarcity. Water level in Netravati was almost reduced considerably. There was no water. So Dharmasthala, there was no water. Udupi, there was no water. I'm talking about coastal districts. This was the appeal. Of course, it is in Kannada, just I'm showing you. Revered Dr. D. Virendra Hegde, who is the Dharmadhikari of Dharmasthala, requesting, it says, they're facing acute scarcity of water. The Netravati river, which flows close to the temple, has gone dry. So now, if, as usual, as normal, if the devotees do come here, we are finding it very difficult to arrange water. So please postpone your visit to this place, Dharmasthala. This is the letter which he wrote, and it came along the newspaper. And water scarcity forced the Udupi schools to abandon the midday meal scheme. Udupi, the midday meal scheme was abandoned because of scarcity of water. Coastal district. We are talking about disasters. We are talking about cyclones. We are talking about earthquake. We are talking. These are all non-glamorous disasters, as far as my knowledge goes. Very relevant. These children going without midday meal because of scarcity of water is a big disaster, in my perception. So when we talk about the entire thing, there are stressors, there are multi-skill responses, there are concerns. So probably here, the population growth, industrialization, urbanization, technological change, the land use changes, the understanding the meteorological regime, hydrological regime, evapotranspiration, groundwater recharge, runoff, the water in streams and aquifers, how good are we as of now in monitoring these? Do we need to really focus on that? In my opinion, NCRMP didn't talk anything about improving the monitoring system or getting better insight. So that is to my knowledge, because I very well remember how much work I did in those days, when the NCRMP was taking shape in the beginning. I visited many times. I visited NDMA and the phase 1 plan for Karnataka. Then phase 2, I was preparing it, brought it to almost final stages when. So anyway, there was no, because the instructions had come from Government of India, not mentioning anything about the monitoring, anything about the R&D activities, anything about further work to understand the insight. There was no mention about it. So we totally missed it. And we really make up now. So the local climate, regional impact of climate change. What is the global climate change scenario? What is the regional climate change scenario? And the fixed biophysical topography, geology, soils, conductivity, etc. These are the stresses, how well we've understood it, how we need to really understand it better now on the days to come. The multi-scale responses, intermediate variables, land, labor, commodity, price, policy, and impact of it on these land use decisions, economics of alternate land uses, the present institutions, how well they can be, or really, whether really overall is required, and infrastructure, and well, how good the treated effluents are being handled and released back to the natural water system. This is one thing really, in my opinion, requires a lot of attention in this area. And allocation, rules, and wastewater generated, as I said already, the agriculture, household level, industries, and addressing their issues, adaptation, coping mechanism, household assets, natural, financial, social, physical, the adequacy, the quality, biodiversity, sustainability, equity, justice, adaptability, resilience, democracy, resilience. Are we really prepared for the shock, future shock? How we need to introspect. Then these are the concerns. How good are we in prepared to absorb the future shock? Really, in my opinion, a lot more needs to be done. Is climate change the only stressor? In economically developed temperate countries with zero population growth and urbanization already at 90% or more, it does seem likely that climate will be the main stressor. But it would be inappropriate to generalize this assumption across the globe. Rising water demand driven by population and economic growth would significantly outweigh climate-induced stress. More specifically, in developing country context, rapid growth of urban populations driven by push and pull migration combined with intensifying agriculture, industrial growth, and increasing incomes increase the demand for fresh water in multiple ways. Unfortunately, consistent incorporation of multiple sensors in climate change water research in developing countries seems to be an exception rather than the norm. Realizing this way back in 1988, more than 22 years back, I'm looking back, I really feel satisfied that at least I made a sincere attempt then and bring in a good monitoring of the rainfall and weather monitoring system in Karnataka, which accepted to be the first of its kind in the entire country. Well, it could have, the vertical pillar is there only. It could have taken the lot of laterals, but anyway, it is thing to be pondered. I don't want to talk about it much. So when we talk about the coastal areas, disaster risk reduction, climate change, so we can classify where one side we, the people, the scientists, engineers, the government, other side, the community. How many issues, when we categorize it, all the many issues which we discussed in the earlier slides, known. We also know it, climate, people also know, which are the factors which comes a known, unknown. We don't know, but the community may know certain things, unknown, neither we know nor the community know. So really, encouragement is required. And well, when we talk about the government and the community side, government is the policy. It is really heavy with the policy plans, but at the community level, they require a lot of projects to get the insight. So, are we good in piloting it? I don't think so. We need to really earmark some point, we really converge together and take up some projects to get better insights and really take it forward. So, strong focus on advancement of science and technology in disaster risk management. Disaster risk management requires a combination of, for example, advancement of science, data analytics, big data analytics, artificial intelligence. I've used it right now. My limited understanding, because as I rightly said right in the beginning, my understanding is very little compared to many of you. But my understanding, let me be honest in saying that there is no data analytics, no big data analytics, no artificial intelligence whatsoever being used in the field of disaster management, and more so in the coastal area. We need to really think about it. Water budgeting, water use efficiency, irrigation efficiency, footprint, water footprint, the fingerprints of disasters. People talk about footprint and fingerprints of disasters. Really, a lot more need to be done. What has been done earlier? Many times it goes, oblivion. Something, we talk something new, and communication of science and knowledge to peers, decision makers, policy makers, other stakeholders, and again adoption of science and knowledge, improvement of I have spoken about it, translation of technology-led innovations into business and industries, and how much money we are spending to compare to our neighboring countries and other parts of the world, all peanuts, not spending anything. Is it not required? It is very much required. How we can really partner and take it forward is the issue which we need to discuss very seriously. So lot of priorities, some of things I mentioned here, and already we have spoken in the previous slides about it. Anyway, I'm just highlighting it. Innovative financial mechanism to maximize social capital for disaster risk reduction. So here in the risk reduction monitoring, data acquisition, analysis, forecasting, and response, and data analytics, technological innovations, interventions, innovations These are all needs which need to be. Is focusing on the household of the city enough? Maybe we need to really take it on a much more broader canvas. Really, finally zero down on maybe household. Maybe it requires probably a completely a synoptic an understanding as well as what is relevant to a particular area or household. Both the things need to really go hand in hand. And analyzing the impact of climate change on coastal region requires working across very disparate scale. So much disparate information on the topic, the research and development process takes a longer time. What we see in practice are sharp disciplinary disconnects. That's my observation. Sorry if some of you don't agree with me. What we see is practically sharp disciplinary disconnects. When I say disparate, what does it mean? This means markedly distinct in quality and character. What we are trying to understand, you have a distinct quality and or character, and it also means containing or made of fundamentally different and often incongruous elements. We are trying to find homogeneity in homogeneity. We are assuming homogeneity, whereas the reality is inhomogeneous. It's essentially different in kind. Disparate means essentially different in kind, not able to be compared. Disparate also means things so unlike there is no basis for comparison. So here it is probably analyzing the impact of climate change, especially on the coastal regime. It requires working across very disparate scales. But I think I have taken a little more time. I was given 30 minutes. Sorry, bear with me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. The question is from Sir Srivastava. Am I audible, sir? Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah,
okay, sir. So I will repeat. I'll say the question, sir. The question is, sir, the groundwater.
1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay. Yes,
Dr. Surya Prakash is there. I request to really help me if I'm not able to answer.
Sir, you are more competent than me. You are more competent. You are Shiva Prakash. I'm only Surya.
Please. Srivastava, please.
Yes, sir. The question is from Srivastava, sir. He said, sir, the groundwater in India is polluted with various components such as fluoride, arsenic, etc. in various parts of the country. So why groundwater pollution is not talked about, not receive its importance like other disasters?
Well, because, out of sight is out of mind. Groundwater is totally neglected. I have spent 22 years of my life in groundwater related studies and investigations. I was in Rajasthan, Haryana, Madhya Pradesh. I worked in Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka. And even today, I say that the groundwater is the most neglected sector. I think this is a good question Mr. Srivastava has asked. And I can say that it's the most neglected. And I am trying a level-based even today because I was involved in making water policy for Karnataka state, which we brought down in January 2020. Very emphatically, I fought, let me use the word, I fought, to really get whatever important groundwater is. So I have brought in maybe another platform I can discuss with Srivastava and some of you are interested. So I have just take a PAN card, Aadhaar card. I have just floated the concept of well card. We will discuss it later. But anyway, thanks for Srivastava raising that issue. Yes, it requires that. Yes, thank you.
And sir, there is one more question, sir, from Mutukuru. The question is, sir, about the coastal reservoir. Is it an alternative opinion? Like Mangalore is contemplating an coastal reservoir. So what do you have to say about the coastal reservoir, sir?
Yeah, as I said, it is engineering marvel, but what the science is. what are the technologies is. Probably we need to converge, in my opinion. Probably we are amazed by engineering marvel. No, probably the science is neglected. Engineering is not a substitute for science. Science, engineering need to really go hand in hand. Technology. Many times they do not go hand in hand. That's why, a marvelous imagination is made. And when we have got many failures, we don't talk about failures. That is another big problem. Always we do little and we boast ourselves. We think that, we have bound a dance. Small webinar, small workshop, and we say we have achieved everything. But we have conducted a webinar to discuss failures. No. If a failed person is considered incompetent, a failed person may be using his best of his capability. If he has failed, how nice how good are we in handling him? No, failure is not incompetent. Failure is the stepping stone of success. So again, let me say that, the engineering marvel need to really face to face with science and technology. We need to really sit together and converge before really. But idea seems to be good. Really seems to be good. But anyway, we need to think about it. Because as I said, Netravati is drying, Kumar Dara is drying, Kali is drying. So again, we have insufficient water, probably in the monsoon. Does it make any sense to have a reservoir as Muthukur was talking about? It's an interesting idea. We need to really discuss that there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful presentation also, sir. And your active participation in question answer session, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks, one and all. And some of my friends are also there. It's Sada Raghu, and really, there are many friends are there. I'm happy for the opportunity of interacting with them.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, NIDM. Thank you, Dr. Surya Prakash, NIDM, Kajutappa. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, sir. So with that, dear friends, we have come to the end of today's technical session of this webinar. And also, so to conclude this webinar, I would like to propose a vote of thanks for today's program. So I wish to express my sincere gratitude to Major General Manoj Kumar Bindal, Executive Director NIDM, and Professor Surya Prakash, Chair of this webinar, for providing us an innovative and encouraging environment, moral guidance, continuous enthusiasm, and valuable suggestion throughout our endeavors. We are also grateful to Sri P.G. Thomas, IAS retired, Director, Institute of Land and Disaster Management, Government of Kerala, and Sri Amal Raj M., Assistant Professor, DMC, Institute of Land and Disaster Management, Government of Kerala, for their enormous cooperation and support in organizing of this webinar. I couldn't thank enough, and I must mention our deep sense of appreciation to all our distinguished speaker, Sri V.S. Prakash ji, Member, Karnataka Tank Conservation and Disaster and Development Authority, Sri Amal Raj M., Assistant Professor, DMC, Institute of Land and Disaster Management, Government of Kerala, and Mr. Srinivasa Rajmani Milli, City Project Coordinator, UNDP, Government of India Project, from Greater Visakhapatnam Municipal Corporation, Visakhapatnam, for their presence in the technical session and enlightening our participant with their vast knowledge, experience, and wisdom. I must convey my thanks to our participant also for joining us in today's session. I hope everybody have some key takeaways points from this session, and which they would like to discuss with their colleague or with their friends and with their families. And in the end, I must mention my thanks to my GMR division team, Mr. Anil Kathak, Dr. Harjeet Kaur, and our IT team, Mr. Balaji, Shovit, and Gaurav, for their cooperation in making this event a successful one. For the participant, please ensure that our fight against coronavirus is not yet over. Please follow the coronavirus prevention that we have been promoting, as Professor Surya Prakash also has highlighted in the inaugural session, that no carelessness until there is a cure. Wear your mask properly, Wash your hand with the soap and water regularly. Avoid touching sensitive parts like eyes, nose, and mouth. Keep social distancing, and please clean surface regularly wherever you touch. So with that, we have come to the end, and there are a few announcements for the participants. From tomorrow onwards, there will be a 3-day training program. So details of that will be shared in our group. Kindly do go for registration and all. And your attendance in this 3-day training in this webinar is automatically recorded, so you don't need to worry about attendance. And for the feedback link is shared in the chat box. You can go in the chat box and you can fill and you can share your feedback. So thank you very much, one and all, for joining us in this webinar. Thank you, everybody. Hope we will see you tomorrow again in our 3-day training program. Thank you.
Thank you, Raju Thapar. Thank you, Dr. Surya Prakash. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for joining with us.